During his election campaign, elected President Donald Trump emphasized his intention to end the war in Ukraine. Professor Rod Thornton, an associate in the Department of Defense Studies at King's College London and an expert on Russian military forces, who has lived in both Moscow and Kyiv, provided an insight into how negotiations could unfold under a Trump presidency and the potential consequences of this situation in an interview with The New Yorker. According to the professor, the war is currently at an impasse. While there have been small advances on various fronts, the major achievement was a Ukrainian offensive in the Kursk Oblast region in August. Since then, the Russians have been trying to reverse this situation, even using North Korean troops to bolster their forces. The main issue now is Ukraine's trust in any peace agreement, especially after Russia's annexation of Crimea and the ongoing aggression in eastern Ukraine, even after previous agreements. For Trump, the proposal might be to freeze the front lines, meaning to maintain the territories currently controlled by each side, in an agreement that could be favorable for Russia but acceptable to Zelensky, who is facing increasing fatigue among the Ukrainian population. If Trump pushes for this solution, Ukraine would have little choice but to concede, especially without the financial and military support from the United States. Washington's military aid is crucial for the survival of Ukraine's war effort, and the threat of cutting off military and financial assistance would be a strong pressure point on Kyiv. The potential withdrawal of American support would have a devastating impact on Ukraine's defense capabilities, especially in an artillery war, where the supply of ammunition has been critical. Without the United States support, which provides both funding and military resources, Ukraine would be in a vulnerable position, and the front lines could be reconfigured in favor of Russia. On the other hand, Russia is also under internal pressure. Although the Russian economy has withstood so far, Putin is facing growing challenges, particularly with high military spending and the need to maintain economic and political stability within the country. The introduction of North Korean troops, while a sign of support, also highlights Russia's difficulties in sustaining the war without relying on external allies. The lack of full mobilization of its military forces and its dependence on troops from countries like North Korea indicate that Russia no longer has the same offensive capability it once did. If Trump withdraws American support, the war could reach a breaking point for Ukraine, which, without financial and military aid, could be forced to accept a ceasefire, if not peace, agreement. A possible frozen conflict, like the cases in regions like Transnistria, could break out, keeping the war in a permanent state of stagnation, where neither side really advances, but tension remains. Trump's potential to negotiate directly with Putin, offering incentives such as a reduction of sanctions, could be the key to a ceasefire. However, such an agreement, based on Putin's word, would be incredibly fragile, subject to new provocations and potential breakdowns at any moment. These dynamics and their implications for the future of the war in Ukraine, as described in the New Yorker article, depend largely on the stance of the United States and how international leaders, such as Trump, might manage the complex negotiations with Russia and Ukraine. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's free and helps us bring more content like this.